there is the potential for. Oh, good. They got the TikTok live chat working again. Thank the Lord. Me and Jay have had nothing but issues with that live editor thing where it just brings up a screen and I could see the TikTok chat.
Yeah, I have had issues with that too. I thought it was just me.
No, apparently it's the entirety of the whole thing. Like
Oh, cool.
I guess the app was just down that day.
This is a test.
Okay, I can perfectly hear my Tickfinity. We're good on that, and I think we're live on my end, so we'll just wait for the viewers to trickle in. But you can go ahead and start, dude. I'm ready to go. They can tune in when they tune in.
Nick, welcome in, everybody. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is Revenge of the Riff, or Pat, whichever one you guys know him as. This is someone that I've ran across. I was streaming, and of course, you know me. I've got a thing for smaller streamers. However, whenever I met him, I didn't realize how in love with him I'd fall. Honestly, I kind of got to know him a little bit, listen to some of his music. Guys, seriously, this is an amazing artist, along with game player. So if you guys have not yet, be welcome to Revenge of the Rift. Man, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
So yeah, hi guys. If you want to know, I go by Revenge of the Rift, but you can call me Andy. That's my pseudo name, I guess, is what I go by. I'm not gonna give my government name, but I go by Andy. So if you want to just call me that for the rest of the stream, that's fine. I am a 38-year-old single musician slash dog trainer slash music teacher. So most of my time is either spent plucking on strings or working with dogs. So, for example, I work tonight. I had to go teach 2 classes an hour away from my house. But you know, it's something I love to do. So that's kind of like where my passion lies mostly. But streaming became kind of like a promotional tool for me. That's kind of what I use it for. So that's kind of what I do in my spare time. I spend most of my time in this office or outside in the yard. That's about it. I'm as solitude as solitude gets. Let's just be honest.
It's really cool though, man. So you say you know you play music. What kind of music do you play?
So I'm a all around guy. I kind of go from genre to genre to genre, but my main focus is like metal and hardcore. So take what you will, call it metalcore, call it deathcore, call it the unfortunate word I hear gent is used as a genre time. Well, gent is not a genre. We're not going to go into that discussion, but just like broader spectrum, I just call it good old fashioned metal is what I like to play most of the time. It's just something that like really just speaks to me. And the struggles I've been through in my life, you know, it helps me release a lot of that angry person that lives inside of here that I try not to expose because it's an evil man. But you know, I let the music speak for that person and let the animal out that way.
Dude, that's really cool. Honestly, I feel like a lot of us have that, and maybe that's, you know, one of the big things that kind of like helps us communicate through, like even like your music that you play, because man, I mean, when I said you're an artist, like I've listened to some of your music and it speaks to me too. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point that I've kind of come across in like my later years as being a musician is like the first thing you should be doing is, you know, obviously practicing and getting better at your craft, but finding your voice. I think that's a really important thing that musicians miss out on a lot, is making themselves stand out and be unique with their playing and letting their whatever instrument or tool they're using speak, you know, because it does have a voice. It does have a certain way. Like I'm starting to get that like with my older friends that they're like, dude, I can really tell when it's you playing. And that's like what I'm looking for is like the people to notice me like, oh, he plays that. I'm not trying to be the next Van Halen or Dimebag Darrell. It's a really hard goal to reach for. Let's be honest. But what I strive to do is just write a cool riff that relates to somebody. You know, and just kind of like get my version of what I call music I would personally listen to like out there. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's okay too. Like it doesn't bother me because I do it for the right reasons and I write music for me and the guys that I work with, you know. That's kind of the whole goal at the end of the day. And, if people like that music, that's awesome. And, we're starting to make a little bit of movement. It's a slow trickle. But, I mainly focus in that metal music because, like, I got a lot of demons in here, so I need a place to release it. And I know you can relate to that. We've talked about it in much detail,
Yeah, definitely, dude. No, yeah. And, that's one of those things I really do, if I want to point out to anybody, like, if you guys are into metal music, this is the guy you need to go check out. Like, seriously. You mentioned that, you stream also, man. And I know you, what are you, like, when do you typically stream? Like, what are your streaming hours? Like,
so it used to be Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. That was the typical schedule that I had. But if you're watching my stream and, I can put this out there. I ran into some medical issues with one of my dogs, my dog Elouise. She has mast cell cancer. She is going to make it. So we're working through a bunch of different other health and infection issues and heartworms and stuff like that. And, I'm very passionate about my animal to the point where I would give up a meal a day just to make sure that my animals were fed and taken care of and at the vet and getting the medication. And, they come first. They're my kids. And that's how I see my animals. But so it's been sporadic. But I am going to try to get back to that schedule. Welcome in Amy and Warpath Tattoo Company. We're doing an interview, so if I don't respond immediately, don't be offended. I'm having a conversation over here. Mommy and Daddy are talking. Basically, what I want to try to do is get back on a schedule. So usually I'm more freed up on like Saturdays and Sundays. So that's where I'm gonna kind of try to sit, is like in that Saturday, Sunday, like make it a weekend thing. But typically it is going to be around the hours of like 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
That's just a really convenient time block. Like, I tested some earlier time blocks and I had some luck on TikTok, but as we all know, it's flip-flopping, seesawing about what's going to be happening at the end of this month. We don't really know. Do we know if it's going to get thrown out or do we know if it's going to get saved? Who the frick knows? Regardless, I found that, yes, you can succeed during the day, but most of the time, if you hit like a 6 to 10 p.m., you're doing solid. Because that's like when people are off work, they're finishing dinner, whatever. It's just a really good time slot, I've found. And it also puts me in a position where I work late, so if I need to go later into a stream, like a midnight release type deal, it's doable. You know? So I think I'm going to do 6 to 10 p.m. I might throw an afternoon, like, secondary stream in there, but it's all going to really depend just on, me getting back to the scheme of things, because I've also had my own doctor's appointments. I'm 38 years old. You got to start seeing the doctor a little bit more frequently and getting your blood worked on and, stuff like that. And I just want to make sure I'm in tip top shape because I've got, 5 dogs. So
Andy.
Yes. Hi, Michaela. Welcome in.
Actually, just saw one of the doggos run right behind you. Just
that would have been. I don't know who that was. They're all out on the couch. Right now, I got 4 out of the 5 out. So 2 of my females don't get along. So I have to keep them separate. But what I mean by keeping them separate, like the one dog gets to go into the master bedroom and have free reign of the bed in the room and a TV with like music on, and like she's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it sounds so terrible, right? But yeah, since I got this new sectional in the living room, which, by the way, Facebook Marketplace, shout out to you, because I got a full-fledged dog-proof sectional for $120. I love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Let's go.
I'm bouncing back and forth between you and DeadPool.
Oh, Trash Goblin just told me she's bouncing back and forth between both our lives right now. But no, so yeah, they'll come in periodically. If you see a white and brown one that looks like a kind of like a shepherd pet mix, that's Shiloh. Once you get the all brown one, that's Deckard. That's my demon child. I love him to death. He's a spitfire and piss and vinegar, and I love him to death. Then the black and white tuxedo looking dog, that's Ginny May. By the way, I've only named one of these dogs. I've gotten them all as rescues or drop-offs or euthanization saves and stuff like that. Wow. So, and then, yeah. We'll get to that, I'm sure, in the conversation. Like, what do I do outside of streaming and stuff like that. No, and then the tiny little one that everybody's familiar with. She is a shining star on all of my streams. That is Hookah, my pocket pit. She's the little one, and she's adorable, but she is also and Anthony also said, and me blessing my head with a tattoo also speaks to him.
Facts.
But no, you'll see him periodically pop in.
Fair enough. So yeah, getting to that topic, what do you do outside of, like, streaming? Like, what kind of piques your interest, keeps you going outside of it?
So I'll say number one, still music. You'll find me practicing at least twice a day. I pick up that instrument on a pretty frequent basis, so it's like it's almost an extension of me at this point. I have like a pretty steady practice regimen that I've gotten over the years that just keeps my hands warm, keeps them healthy, keeps the arthritis from being a problem. Because I do have a condition called RSI. Just a basic bare bones explanation of that. Talk to an athlete and talk to a musician. One of them probably has it in their later years. Overuse of the area causes pain. That's basically what it is. Muscle deterioration, stuff like that. So that's one of the things I do. Second thing, taking care of my family and dog training. I do dog training on a frequent week-to-week basis with currently 3 clients. I was heavier in load during the summer because a lot of people got new dogs. So that usually is like when my training services like take off. But I have 3 clients right now that I work with privately at their homes. So that takes up my Saturday morning into the afternoon. And then when I have minimal time after that, like after obviously taking care of my own family, I come in here and game with y'all. Gaming has been a really good just outlet release for me. Because again, there's an angry guy that lives inside here. Believe it or not.
They usually scare us more than they scare anybody else. I mean, to be fair, I get scared of my inner guy. Like, I'm like, some of the, we've talked about it, of course, but like, there's definitely like, I get it, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why. So, funny story, I'm wearing like what is the beginning of my clothing line that I got made a long time ago, and I just have not done anything with it, but I'm pushing it a little bit more now. But this is also something I do in my spare time, design.
I like that, dude. I was gonna ask about that too.
Yeah, so this was gifted to me. I just redrew it in my style. This logo was originally done by a company called Duvo. So it was like a electronic we shall not speak of because TikTok does not like that crap.
Gotcha.
But basically, I was a part of a team and designing, and then my brand.
Be kind and rewind.
Yeah, be kind and rewind. That's
me.
Right. That's right, Jay. That's right. But that's also where the hooch comes in. So let's go over it real quick. So nowadays, this word is used for a loose woman, right? You hear if somebody's called a hoochie or a hoochie mom or a hooch, like that's basically pre-Gen Z term for a promiscuous lady, right?
Right.
Well, if we rewind, like Jay was just saying a minute ago, back to maybe 1920s, into the 30s, into the 40s.
You called me a wise man. Yeah, I am flattered.
You are a wise man. But basically, that word then is used for the term for alcohol or liquor or the drink that a working man would have after a shift, right? And we're talking about hard jobs back in the day, coal mining, shoeing horses, building refinery materials, working in factories under terrible conditions. And all they wanted to do at the end of the day was just enjoy an alcoholic beverage because it was their only form of peace before they had to go home and take care of their families. It was a word my grandfather used. And so regardless,
moonshine, to be fair.
Right. And that's kind of what the term evolved over the years. If you see what I'm saying. So yeah. You know how in Clerks, the guy says, "I'm taking it back."
Yeah.
So I'm taking that word back, right? So I made a company called Hooch Lifestyle, right? And basically, what it is it's going to be positive messages through dark and stupid imagery.
That's pretty good, though.
And that's basically like, so I've got the Reaper on my hat, and I've got the word Slatanic on the back. And basically it means kill negativity. That's that. But it's just a funny way of putting it so that I make the uncomfortable people more uncomfortable. Because it's something I enjoy doing because I do it with the utmost wanting to educate them on the correct terms, uses, just be an educational resource for people to understand that, like, when I was growing up, your terms are not my terms. I was raised in a different generation. We can have a generational discussion so you can understand where I'm coming from, right? That's how we have logical discussion with humans. So like the first thing is thrive or die. You got to thrive in the world, or else you're gonna wither away. And die doesn't mean physically dying. It could be emotionally dying, spiritually dying. And taking a step back and just saying, you know what, I can thrive in this world even though it makes me uncomfortable. Because you got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And that's kind of like what my company stands for. Uncomfortable imagery through just having a conversation. Because, like, I want people to come up to me because I'm wearing a shirt that makes them uncomfortable. Like, why are you wearing that shirt?
Yeah. You talk about it. There you go. It's a good educational topic to bring into. Yeah.
It's a discussion piece. That's what it's funny because I do have social anxiety, but when I'm comfortable, I can have a full on, like, long-winded conversation. Like Jay will tell you, I'm the most long-winded son of a monkey's uncle there is.
Hey man, that's awesome though. I mean, to be fair, like, a lot of people get afraid, that or they're closed books, and like something that's really nice is, especially whenever you're trying to, spread who you are. Once you get comfortable with yourself,
crazy.
You're no longer worried about what other people think about you. You're like, shoot, I'm comfortable with myself. The people I care about are comfortable with me, and honestly, that's one of the biggest things is, like, as long as you can be comfortable with yourself, then you can make other people feel comfortable. But it goes along in my opinion, I feel like even love, like, it works that way. Like, it's hard to love anything if you don't love yourself. It's hard to do anything if you don't do anything to yourself first. You know what I mean? You gotta take care of yourself, man.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, I'll tell you, like, just to give you a little background, like, I was not always this confident because I was being picked on and bullied and shoved in my head, shoved in toilets and chased up trees, having kids throw rocks at me and calling me certain names, and but that bred the man I am today, and that's a man who could give virtually no fucks what people think about me. Like, I know who I am. I'm okay with the guy. Well, I still have my days I can't look myself in the mirror, like, because I'm just processing me, right? That we have those days, right?
At Michaela, right? I just want to talk to
But what I can tell you is I can confidently say, because of the tattoos and all the work I've done and the body modification and all these beautiful things that I've done for myself and the experiences I've been through, I like myself. And I'm starting to love myself again. You know? And it took a divorce and solitude to do it. But you know what? I'm perfectly okay with that. You know, I had to be accountable for where I was in my life at that time and realize that there's a reason for everything and I should just not question it and should just run with it, because the minute I accept things, it becomes a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not easy. Like, let me tell you, this guy cries a lot. You know, just like everybody else, you know?
To be fair, it's healthy.
Dude, can I tell you, so like the day that I found out that Ellie had cancer, okay, that was a tough day, man. Like, I was on my phone, my mom was in my kitchen visiting me, and I was breaking as a man. You know, and just sobbing every inch of my soul out of my face. And then when I was done, I looked at her, and she had this dumb smile on her face. Like, just eyes as wide as her eyes can go, and dumb smile on her face. And I said to myself that day, you know what? That cry was healthy, but look at that girl and tell me she ain't happy right now. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like the crying is supposed to help you gain a change of perspective, because there is like that post clarity after crying.
Oh, definitely.
You
the
know,
bestest dog dad ever.
You know, and I try to be the best parent that I possibly can be to these kids, but I also make mistakes, you know. But can I tell you something? There is nothing like you making a mistake and that dog still looks at you the exact same it did when you didn't make that mistake.
Right.
And that's why I'm so passionate about those things, man.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I get that.
It drives my bus. You know, like it really does.
They definitely say, man, you know, dogs are man's best friend for a reason. To be fair.
Uh-huh.
I got a couple more questions for you, man. Then you know, we'll have to wrap this up, unfortunately. But so you were talking about what do you typically stream on whenever you do stream?
So I do it on multiple platforms. I use the Streamlabs app so that I can hit multi-platform just all in one shot.
Yeah.
So I do YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Facebook. But I split it between my personal pages and the band, right? So that everybody's getting promotion. You know, because realistically, the only reason I'm doing promotion for myself is the guitar company I'm endorsed by.
Sure.
That's to give back to a guy who's been given to me for 5 years. You know, and he's given me his soul, essentially, like, at this point. I've known him for a long time, and, you know, he's really got my back. Like, I feel like I've known him my whole life. Like, it's kind of one of those relationships. So here's how it works. Band-wise, Warpath on Facebook, and then also Warpath NC on TikTok, right? That's where, and it's also because I don't have 1,000 followers on my personal TikTok. You want to know when I got TikTok? Like, maybe September of last year. That's how late to the game I am.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, not a thing. And then this band, we talked about it, and I did it, and it works. I get it now.
That's exactly. I was late to the game too, brother. I think I started in September. I think we might have started about the same time then.
Probably. I had done some small amount of streaming a couple years ago on Twitch.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jason. But I had done a small amount on Twitch for a little bit, and I almost hit affiliate, and then I just couldn't do it anymore, man. Like, it was just, I didn't have the passion for it like most guys do. Yeah. So back to the platforms. Warpath is always the Warpath NC and Warpath NC on TikTok. And then when it comes to Twitch and YouTube, that is at Revenge of the Riff. That's the thing up top. Just Revenge of the Riff. Just put the at symbol in front of it and you'll find me. I will tell you, I don't post often. Like, I'm not one of those like jam content down your throat kind of guys. I've got a lot going on, but that being said, now that I'm getting past the hump of a lot of the projects and stuff that I've got going on right now, I'm going to have a little more time. So I'm probably going to do Saturday, Sunday, kind of do like, I work throughout the week. I get my weekends, to stream for a couple hours, and I'll be, really kind of trying to keep to a schedule where I'm not trying to go over if I don't need to. Now, if it's a good stream and people are showing up and people are interacting, I'm there. I will stay on. Like DeadPool. You've seen the length my streams can go sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You'll go to sleep and I'm still on.
Dude, like an hour. Yeah. Sometimes he just keeps going. I'm like, wow, this guy. He's definitely feeling it today. Like, and I think sometimes it gets to be a vibe too. Like, and it's hard to just break free from it because you're like, I'm having such a good time. Like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, and I'm also wanting to do other content. Like, I'm trying to get my like guitar and stuff set up so that I can stream guitar content and do like live studio sessions where I'm like showing you guys what my process is like. I'm going to be building out this studio. Like, obviously there's some new additions. Actually, do you see that black light with like the glass case back there?
Yeah.
That's Alice Cooper's hat with his signature on it that I just found and got just recently, and I'm super fucking stoked on that thing, bro.
That is sick.
Yeah, but I want to give it justice, and I'm gonna put like where that light is back there, the skull light. I'm gonna put a shelf above it, and then I'm gonna put some downlight on it so that it gets like actual lighting. And then I'm gonna be doing some studio panels in here, so I want to do build out videos. Of that, just make it more interesting, but I don't want to jump start it until we get definitive answers. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll tell you, if there's one thing I'm going to say on this stream, time is valuable and you don't get it back. And I ain't planning on wasting mine.
That's it.
That's really like my main saying is like, I value my time. I value the time I have on this planet. So other than that, you can find me on those platforms. My Facebook is kind of just a personal thing. I kind of keep that separate. If you end up getting the link, awesome. But I don't even stream on there. Like, it's just me. If you really want to know what's on that page, Fromfell Guitars. Funny video I saw about pit bulls. Fromfell Guitars. Like, it is literally the same stuff. I've been trying to do that with the repost feature on TikTok, like reposting things that I see that I would normally put on my Facebook. So it's like making it so you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm glad that, we kind of connected, and thank you
Yeah,
TikTok for that, like,
definitely.
It brought creators like us together that, dude, you're doing some solid work out here, man. Like,
I appreciate that. Back at you, man.
Yeah, and it was another streamer who said, "Hey, man, I've worked with this guy before. Why don't I link you guys up?" Like, that's the coolest thing about this community, man.
Right?
Is we get to find the weird people that we're probably not going to ever find in real life because none of us come out of our houses.
Dude, and that's honestly the god awful truth. And that's one of the reasons I do stuff like this too. Is I meet different people, and there's sometimes like you're a recluse. Like, sometimes you get on, sometimes you're hard. Sometimes it's hit or miss. But for the most part, like you can be pretty consistent. But not a lot of people have found you yet. And I'm like, dude, you got to. We can push each other out and hopefully break this barrier. Break the algorithm, whatever's out there. And really push each other up and introduce each other to everybody else. Because one of the biggest things I've noticed is I got introduced to you, but I've got different ways that like I can introduce you to other people too, because that's the coolest part, is being able to lift each other up.
Right. And that's why I make sure that when we're all gaming, I'm like, okay, there's a room full of us creators in here. This needs to go on the internet. Like, those are the times, and like I want to start trying to do that more often with my streams, is designating and trying to coordinate with everybody's schedule. Because I'd like to do more cross content promotion. Like you're streaming on your TikTok, I'm streaming on my TikTok. We're pushing it out. It's cross pollinating itself. And I see, dude, how many streamers out there are doing that right now? Like you got Tim the Tatman and Cloaksy and all these guys playing Ninja. They're all playing together. They're all streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's a good formula because you have something to feed off of.
Yeah. Well, dude, look, I could do this all night, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. I told you I'm long-winded.
I can be too. I want to thank every last one of you guys who showed up to our lives to check this out, watched our interview today. Revenge of the Riff, Warpath, guys, seriously, if you guys have not checked them out, go check them out. Revenge of the Riff, of course, and then Warpath NC. If you guys have not found it there, go check it out, seriously. Thank you, dude, again. For being a part of this process. This is definitely one of the coolest things I get to do. I know there's sometimes people get to just scroll through here and see these people, and I actually get to stop and talk to them and get to know them a lot more, and hopefully get to ask some of the questions other people are curious about too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
get to know you a little bit more.
And if anybody wants to know anything about me, they can message those pages. Like I'm a very approachable guy. When it comes down to it, I'm an approachable guy. So like, feel free if you have questions, advice about music or advice about like getting into streaming. Like DeadPool and I are great resources for that, because we're still getting into it. It's still new for us. Like we're, trying to hone in on what works. I want to thank you.
No,
dude,
don't. He's mine.
But I just want to say thank you for, bringing me into your community too. Cause like I've found like anytime I hop on there with you, like, we need to be playing some Rivals here. Cause season 1 dropped today. And that exactly. Game that we had the other day, it was the goofiest time I've had on the internet. Like it was great.
Dude. And actually it's funny you're mentioning that, that's coming here pretty quick. Just so you know. Everyone, I'm going to go ahead and end our interview, guys. If you guys have not already, drop the follow. Appreciate you guys so much for being here. See you guys at the next one.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys.
No, Marvel Rivals, though. So, we're getting ready to go play.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I am definitely interested. I'm going to end my stream real quick. Hey guys, over there on my live, this was going to be a short one tonight. It was mainly about the interview, but like I said, I will probably be hitting the weekend, so maybe look out tomorrow for a stream. Who knows? I might be feeling spicy. But with that being said, I love you too, Michaela. With that being said, guys,